In the dark, cold space, a small alien ship floated silently above a blue and green planet. The ship's name was Vorthen's Eye, and it belonged to the great Vorthen Empire. For thousands of years, the Empire had ruled many worlds, crushing any weak planet that crossed their path. Inside the ship, Commander Draxel stood in front of a large screen. His skin was dark gray, his eyes yellow like burning suns. He watched the planet below with a smirk on his face. "So, this is Earth," Draxel said, his voice full of pride. "A primitive planet. They still live in small houses and ride strange round things called bikes. What a joke." His officers laughed. One of them, a young alien named Jarnik, pointed at the screen. "Commander, look. They use fire to cook their food. They grow plants with their hands. No starships, no laser. Weapons, they're nothing." Commander Draxel crossed his arms. "Easy prey for the Empire. Once we report this, our war fleet will come and take this planet. These creatures won't even know what hit them." But then something strange happened. "Commander," said a nervous officer named Zeller, "I am picking up unusual signals." Draxel frowned. "What kind of signals?" "High-energy pulses, sir. From the far side of their moon. They don't match anything we know." Another officer spoke up. "Could it be a natural phenomenon?" Zeller shook his head. "No, sir. These are artificial, controlled, and they're old, very old. Maybe even older than our empire." The room went silent. Draxel narrowed his eyes. "Show me." On the screen, a live image of the moon appeared. At first, it looked normal, a gray, lifeless rock floating in space. But as the sensors zoomed in, strange shapes could be seen. Large doors built into the moon's surface. Some were open. Inside those doors, something huge moved. "What is that?" "Jarnik," whispered Doc. The scanners picked up giant metal shapes rising from underground hangars. Long and wide, shining black like the void itself. Warships. And not simple ones. These were powerful. Massive ships, far bigger than any the Vorthen Empire had. "Impossible," Draxel said in shock. "This planet was supposed to be primitive." The ship's alarm started to beep loudly. "Commander," Zeller shouted. "New contacts. Multiple starships, and they're moving fast. They're behind the moon." On the screen, dozens of starships appeared. Their designs were sleek, deadly, and unknown. They moved into position like experienced hunters. The Vorthen officers panicked. "They have weapons locked on us," Jarnik yelled. "Raise shields," Draxel ordered. "Get us out of here. Set course for hyperspace jump." But before they could move, a voice spoke through their comm system. It was calm, cold, human. "Unidentified alien vessel. This is Captain Ava Morgan of the Human Defense Fleet. You are trespassing in soul space. Power down your weapons and engines. Prepare to be boarded." Everyone in the control room froze. No one expected humans to speak their language. And no one expected them to sound so confident. "Is this a trick?" Draxel growled. "No, sir." Zeller said, shaking. "It's real. Their weapons are locked on us. If we try to run, they will fire." Draxel felt a cold sweat on his skin. How could this be? How could a planet that looked so primitive have a secret fleet hidden behind there? Moon? How did they know the Empire would come? "Commander," Jarnik whispered, "what do we do?" Draxel clenched his fists. His pride told him to fight. His instincts told him to run. But it was too late for both. The human voice spoke again. "Have 30 seconds to comply, or we will destroy your ship." The countdown began on the screen. 30, 29, 28. "Sir," Zeller shouted. "Orders?" Draxel looked at the massive human ships on the screen. Ships that had been hiding in silence, waiting for a moment like this. He realized the truth. Earth was never primitive that it was a trap. The Vorthan Empire had just walked right into it. Asterisk. The inside of Vorthan's eye was filled with tension. Red warning lights flashed. Every officer on the bridge stared at the screen, watching the enormous human ships move into position. Commander Draxel's heart pounded in his chest. His mind raced. How had this happened? For centuries, the Empire believed Earth was a weak, backward world. But now, giant starships, larger than anything in the Vorthan Navy, floated silently in space, and every one of them was aiming at his ship. "Commander," Jarnak said, voice trembling, "they have us surrounded." "Show me their ship." "Specifications," Draxel ordered. Zeller quickly brought up the data. What appeared on the screen made everyone's faces go pale. The human ships were armed with weapons no one in the Empire had ever seen. Plasma lances, gravity pulse cannons, and something called void breakers. Weapons capable of ripping open space itself. They shouldn't have this technology, Zeller stammered. "This is centuries ahead of us." "It's a lie." Draxel snapped. "They've stolen this from someone else. No primitive world can build ships like this." But deep inside, Draxel knew the truth. Earth wasn't primitive. It had been hiding for centuries. And now, the trap was closing. Suddenly, a hologram flickered to life on the bridge. It was the human captain. A woman with sharp eyes and a scar across her cheek. Her face was calm, her gaze cold. "This is Captain Ava Morgan of the Human Defense Fleet," she repeated. "You are ordered to stand down. Disable your weapons. Power down your engines. Prepare to be boarded." Draxel clenched his jaw. He wasn't about to surrender. Not without a fight. Target their lead ship. He barked. "Fire all plasma." "Cannons." "Sir?" Zeller hesitated. "Do it." The alien ship's plasma turrets fired. Bright blue beams shot through space toward the human flagship. But in an instant, the human ship shimmered and vanished. "What?" Jarnak gasped. The human ship had used some kind of phase technology, slipping out of normal space for a split second. The plasma beams passed harmlessly through empty space. "Impossible," Draxel whispered. Then, without warning, the human fleet fired back. Brilliant golden beams struck the Vorthan's eye. The shields flared, then shattered like glass. The ship rocked violently. Sparks flew across the bridge. Several officers fell from their chairs. "Shields are down," Zeller shouted. "Main thrusters offline." Jarnak added. The cone crackled. "Last warning, alien vessel, Ava Morgan's." Voice returned. "One more hostile action, and we turn your ship into scrap." Draxel gritted his teeth. "Prepare for hyperspace jump." But Zeller's hands shook as he looked at the controls. "Sir, hyperspace systems are jammed. They've locked us down." On the screen, another wave of human ships arrived, even larger than the first. Their names appeared on the scanners. HSS Leviathan, HSS Nightfall, HSS Iron Dawn, HSS Ghostblade. Each name sent a chill through the crew. These weren't scout ships. These were warships meant for conquest, and Earth had dozens of them. "Commander," Zeller whispered, "there's something else. New data from the moon's surface." Draxel turned toward him. "What is it?" Zeller zoomed the image closer. Underneath the moon's surface were ancient hangars, far older than anything the Empire had ever seen. Inside them, more ships slept. Gigantic star dreadnoughts, the kind only spoken about in ancient galactic myths. These ships, Jarnak gulped. "They're from the Dark War era." Draxel's hands turned cold. The Dark War had happened over 50,000 years ago. No ships from that time should have survived, but here they were. Humanity hadn't just built modern warships. They had recovered ancient, forgotten weapons from a dead age and improved them. This wasn't a weak race rising for the first time. This was a species that had prepared for 1,000 years. And now, They were ready? Commander, orders? Zeller asked, his voice tiny. Draxel's pride screamed at him to fight. But his mind, cold and sharp, told him it was over. And the con chimed one last time. Your time is up. Ava Morgan said quietly. Draxel's head dropped. He had no choice. Lower our weapons, he muttered. Open the docking bay. The crew obeyed in silence. And outside, a dozen human boarding ships sped toward them, weapons armed, soldiers inside ready to take over. As the humans approached, Draxel thought of one thing. We believed Earth was primitive. We were the fools. Asterisk. The alien ship Vorthen's Eye floated helplessly in space. Its shields were gone. Engines were dead. The crew stood in silence, afraid to speak, as dozens of human warships surrounded them. Commander Draxel gripped the edge of his chair. His sharp yellow eyes never left the screen. The human ships held their positions, waiting. It felt like they were playing with him, letting him feel the fear before making the final move. Commander, Zeller whispered, they've sent boarding ships. How many? Draxel asked. 12, maybe more. Draxel's throat went dry. No one fires without my order, he commanded. Then, for the first time, they saw the human soldiers. The boarding ships attached themselves to the hull of Vorthen's Eye with a metallic thud. Moments later, the ship's sensors showed movement in the corridors. Life forms detected, Jarnek said, his voice shaking. Small groups, moving fast. The cameras switched to a corridor view. A squad of humans appeared. They wore dark black armor, shining like obsidian. Helmets covered their faces, glowing red visors hiding their eyes. Their weapons looked brutal, compact, powerful, and nothing like the Empire's smooth designs. One of the human soldiers raised a small device. A bright blue light flashed, and the steel door in front of them exploded open like paper. By the stars, Jarnek whispered. They're monsters. The humans moved with calm, perfect steps. No fear, no hesitation. They were trained killers, and the aliens could feel it. They're heading toward the bridge, Zeller shouted. Seal all doors, Draxel ordered. Lock down the main corridor. But it was useless. Within minutes, the heavy doors to the bridge trembled. Sparks flew. The metal bent. One final blast, and the doors fell. A group of 10 human soldiers stepped inside. For a moment, no one moved. The bridge was filled with the sound of heavy boots. Then, one of the humans removed her helmet. It was a woman. Her face was sharp, a long scar running down her cheek. Cold blue eyes stared at Draxil. Was Captain Ava Morgan. Commander Draxel, she said, her voice calm. As if this was an ordinary meeting, Draxel forced himself to stand. How do you know my name? We've been watching you, Ava replied. For years. A fresh wave of fear rolled over the alien crew. Watching them? But how? When? Draxel tried to regain his pride. This is an act of war. The Empire will come for you. Ava smiled slightly. We're counting on it. The room went cold. What do you mean? Draxel demanded. Ava gestured to her soldiers. One of them tapped a small device. A hologram appeared in the air, showing dozens of other Vorthen Empire ships across the galaxy. Some near Earth, some far away. We allowed your empire to believe Earth was primitive, Ava said, so you would come. And when you did, we marked every one of your ships. The alien officers stared in horror. Right now, Ava continued, our long-range weapons are targeting your fleet. In 60 minutes, every Vorthen ship in this region will be vaporized. Draxel's hands trembled. This is madness, he growled. No, Ava said softly. This is survival. For centuries, humans have been hiding, building in the shadows. Your empire made the mistake of assuming weakness was the same as helplessness. A new officer entered the bridge. "Captain, the other alien ships are retreating." "Good." Ava nodded. "Let them run. We'll deal with them later." Draxel's heart sank. His entire career, he had believed the Empire was invincible, that no world could stand against it. Now, standing face to face with these humans, he realized the truth. The Empire was no longer the apex predator of the galaxy. It was prey. Ava leaned closer. "Tell your Emperor. Humanity is done hiding." Then she turned to her soldiers. "Secure the ship. Take them to holding. Set the charges." "Charges?" Zeller gasped. Ava gave a cold smile. "This ship won't be leaving with us." As the humans began moving the terrified crew, Draxel took one last look at the screen, at Earth, at the giant starships, at the darkness beyond. They thought Earth was primitive. They had been wrong. So, very wrong. Asterisk high above Earth, space was no longer calm. Human warships floated like silent giants, their guns aimed and ready. The alien ship Vorthen's Eye was in human control now. Its crew had been captured. Captain Ava Morgan stood on the bridge of her flagship HSS Leviathan. Her sharp eyes watched the scanners carefully. She knew this wasn't over. "Any movement from the Empire's fleet?" she asked. "Not yet, Captain," replied her officer, Consign Blake. "But I don't trust this silence." Neither did Ava. Then it happened. An alert blared across the ship. Red lights flashed. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected," Blake shouted. "They're coming in fast." "How many?" Ava asked. 20, no, 30 ships. The screen lit up as Vorthen Empire warships dropped out of hyperspace, surrounding the human fleet. Massive alien battleships, heavy cruisers, and deadly destroyers filled the darkness. Their metallic hulls gleamed like sharp blades in the void. On the lead ship, Vorthen's Pride, Admiral Krell, a large, cruel-looking alien, snarled as he saw Earth below. "Humans dare attack one of our vessels? Destroy them all." He roared. Ava's lips curled into a cold smile. "They fell for it," she muttered. The alien fleet opened fire. Blazing plasma cannons lit up the darkness, sending deadly beams toward Earth's orbit. The human ships, however, moved fast, quicker than anyone expected. The HSS Nightfall dodged a blast so sharp it seemed impossible. The HSS Iron Dawn returned fire, hitting one of the Empire's destroyers dead center. The alien ship exploded. In a brilliant flash. "Status?" Ava called out. "Our shields are holding, Captain," Blake reported. "Minimal damage?" Ava nodded. "Time to show them what we've been building." She turned to her tactical officer. "Deploy Ghost Wave." The room went silent. Even the human officers stiffened. "Yes, ma'am." Within seconds, several strange, triangular ships uncloaked. They shimmered like glass, impossible to track with normal sensors. These were the Ghost Wave units, humanity's secret weapon. What is that?" Krell demanded on his ship as the human ships appeared on his screens. "Unknown crafts?" "Sir," his officer panicked. "We can't lock on." The Ghost Wave ships fired. Their weapons were plasma or lasers. They were gravity torpedoes, invisible bombs that warped space itself. One alien battleship twisted unnaturally, its metal hull crumpling like paper before it vanished into nothingness. Krell's eyes widened. "Impossible." Ava's voice came through on every Vorthen channel. "You entered soul space. This was your last mistake." More explosions followed. Human ships moved like dancers, precise and fast, while the Empire's fleet struggled to target them. On Earth's surface, people watched the sky. Bright flashes lit up the night like a storm of stars, but no human panicked. They trusted their defense fleet. Inside HSS Leviathan, Blake reported. "Captain, The Vorthan ships are falling back. Ava didn't relax. Good. Chase them. One of the Ghost Wave ships pursued a Vorthan cruiser. It fired a single pulse. The alien ship vanished, sucked into a mini black hole. Admiral Krell, watching his fleet fall apart, shouted, "Retreat! Jump to hyperspace now." But it was too late. Ava gave her final order. Activate Void Net. Across the battlefield, human beacons activated, creating a web of invisible gravity traps. As the remaining Vorthan ships tried to escape, they slammed into the nets. Some were crushed, others torn apart. A few lucky ones vanished into hyperspace. But most never made it. In minutes. The battle was over. Silence returned to space. Blake turned to Ava. All Vorthan ships eliminated, Captain. 0 human losses. Ava gave a small, satisfied nod. As planned. But she wasn't done yet. Prepare a message to the Empire, she ordered. Tell them this was only a warning. Blake smiled. Message ready, Captain. Ava spoke. Clearly into the recorder. This is Captain Ava Morgan of Earth. We have destroyed your fleet. Next time, we won't stop at your ships. We'll come for your world. As the message was sent, Ava looked at Earth below. For centuries, humanity had hidden its strength. But now, the galaxy would know. They thought Earth was primitive. Now, they would learn the truth. And Ava knew this was just the beginning. Asterisk. After the battle, space above Earth was calm again. The wreckage of Vorthan ships floated like dead fish in the darkness. The stars shone quietly, as if nothing had happened. But inside the human flagship HSS Leviathan, the real storm was about. To begin, Commander Draxel sat inside a small, steel-walled cell. The alien commander had lost everything: his ship, his crew, and his pride. His yellow eyes burned with anger and fear. The door opened with a soft hiss. Captain Ava Morgan entered, followed by 2 armored soldiers. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She just stared at him. Draxel growled, "Kill me, human. At least show some honor." But Ava shook her head. "You don't die yet, Commander. First, you need to know what you walked into." Draxel frowned. "What do you mean?" Ava gestured to the wall. A hologram appeared, showing the galaxy map. Countless stars and systems lit up. Then she pressed a button, and dozens of red marks appeared. Vorthan Empire's worlds. Then something unexpected happened. More marks appeared. Blue ones, in places no one believed humans had ever reached. Deep in unknown regions. Near the galactic core. Even in ancient star systems the Empire had long abandoned. "These are ours," Ava said coldly. Draxel's face twisted in disbelief. "Impossible. No one controls those sectors." Ava's eyes narrowed. "That's what we wanted you to think." She stepped closer. For centuries, Earth pretended to be weak. A primitive, backward world. But the truth is, we've been expanding in the shadows. Colonies hidden in dark space. Starbases behind dead stars. Mega-dreadnoughts buried under moons. Watching every empire move. Draxel couldn't speak. Ava continued, her voice low. "This wasn't just about Earth, Commander. Humanity was never just a single planet. Long ago, before your empire even existed, there was a human empire that ruled half this galaxy." Draxel's eyes widened. "That's a lie. No record speaks of it." Ava smiled slightly. "That's because we erased those records." She touched the hologram again. A new image appeared. Ancient ships, colossal in size, floating around a star. Their designs were older than anything modern empires had. Ships with names like Titanfall, Solaris Prime, and Nemesis Dawn. These were our ancestors' creations. Ava whispered. The galaxy turned against them. The Vorthan Empire's old masters, the Draco, tried to wipe us out. Draxel's voice was hoarse. You were extinct. No. Ava's gaze hardened. We disappeared, hid on distant worlds, rebuilt, and waited for the galaxy to forget. She leaned in. And now we've returned. Draxel's heart pounded in his chest. The weight of the truth crushed his pride. Everything the Empire believed was a lie. They were no rulers. They were children playing in the ruins of a greater civilization. Ava stood tall. This battle was nothing. A warning. The real war hasn't even started. Why reveal this now? Draxel asked, his voice cracking. Ava stared into the stars through the window. Because you weren't our only visitors. What? 2 weeks ago, Ava explained, another alien fleet arrived at the edge of human space. Not yours. Someone worse. Something ancient. Something we thought was dead. The room went cold. Drax ill-swallowed hard. Who? Ava didn't answer immediately. Then she whispered one word. The Drekel. Draxel's blood froze. The name was legend, an ancient, ruthless empire believed to have vanished eons ago. They're back, Ava said quietly, and they're coming for both of us. She turned to leave. You should pray we don't kill you, Commander, because soon you'll need us. As the door closed behind her, Draxel sat in the dark cell, feeling smaller than he ever had before. He had come to conquer a primitive world. Instead, he had found the ghosts of an ancient power, and a storm, greater than anything the galaxy had ever known, was rising. The darkness of space stretched endlessly around the galaxy's heart. Stars flickered like dying candles. In the emptiness between them, something ancient moved. A fleet. Silent, massive, black as the void itself. The Drekel had returned. Their ships were like nothing the modern galaxy had ever seen. Shaped like jagged spears, each vessel was bigger than a city. They didn't glow or hum like other ships. They absorbed light, making space itself darker wherever they passed. At the center of their fleet, a massive vessel loomed, the Harbinger. Inside it, the Drekel High Lord opened his eyes. It is time, he spoke in a cold, deep voice. The galaxy forgot its masters. Now it will remember. Far away, on Earth's moonbase, Captain Ava Morgan stood at a command table with her top officers. A hologram showed multiple warfronts. Status? She asked. Blake pointed at the red markers. The Empire's remaining fleets are retreating. Their homeworld defenses are preparing for a counterattack. But the Drekel, they've entered known space. How long before they reach the core worlds? Ava asked. 3 days. Ava took a breath. And our fleets? Ready. She turned to a secure panel on the wall. Behind it, a long forbidden's command protocol blinked. Operation Eclipse. Blake hesitated. Captain, if we do this, there's no going back. Ava's eyes were cold as ice. We never planned to go back. She pressed her thumb on the scanner. A voice spoke. Operation Eclipse confirmed. Super Dreadnought Leviathan Prime. Online, the base trembled. Outside, the ground split open, and from the depths of the moon, something unimaginable rose. A ship. No, not a ship. A floating city of war. Leviathan Prime, built centuries ago by the lost human empire. It was the largest war machine ever made. Taller than planets, its hull forged from neutron star cores. It hadn't moved for over 5,000 years. Until now. The watching officers went pale. Blake whispered, By the stars? Ava spoke calmly. This was Earth's final secret. Meanwhile, on the Vorthan Empire's homeworld, Emperor Valks received the terrible news. His grand navy was gone. His commanders captured. His fleets falling apart. But worse, the Drekel were coming. A transmission from Earth arrived. Against his will, the Emperor watched it. Ava's face appeared, To the galaxy's rulers, your time is over. You built empires on fear. On conquest, on lies. Humanity was never your prey. We were your future executioners. The message showed Leviathan Prime rising, its weapons charging. As thousands of human ships gathered around it, Ava's voice grew colder. To the Drekel, we remember you. You erased our ancestors. Now we erase you. The message ended. The Emperor felt his blood run cold. This wasn't a rebellion. It was a reckoning dot in deep space. A final battle began. The Drekel fleet arrived, devouring entire star systems. In their path, Vorthan ships trying to escape were annihilated. Then, from hyperspace, the full might of humanity appeared. Tens of thousands of warships, Ghost Wave squadrons, Eclipse bombers, Leviathan-class dreadnoughts, and at the center, Leviathan Prime got the galaxy's largest battle erupted. Explosions lit up the void. Ships vanished into nothingness. Entire moons shattered. The Drekel fired a planet-killer beam. It struck Leviathan Prime, and the ancient ship barely flinched. Its return shot tore through 5 Drekel capital ships. In a single blast, on every screen, in every ship, across every world, one message flashed. Humanity has returned. In ours, the Drekel's mighty fleet fell. Their flagship imploded, their High Lord screaming as his empire crumbled. The Empire's surviving ships surrendered. No one dared resist anymore. After the battle, Ava stood alone, staring at the stars. Behind her, the galaxy lay silent. Lake approached. It's done, Captain. The galaxy is ours. Ava didn't smile. No, it belongs to everyone now. She sent one final message across the stars. To all civilizations, the age of tyrants is over. No more empires. No more slavers. No more hidden wars. This galaxy belongs to those who live in it. Peace will be protected by humanity, forever. The transmission ended, and in that moment, across countless worlds, hope returned. The galaxy would never forget this day, the day they thought Earth was primitive. And the day Earth proved them wrong. Asterisk. Weeks had passed since the greatest battle in galactic history. The Drekel were gone. The Vorthan Empire had fallen. And for the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy was quiet. Human ships patrolled peacefully. Former slaves had conquered. Races were free. Trade lanes opened. Old battlefields were silent. But deep in a forgotten corner of the galaxy, something stirred. In a lonely human listening post called Outpost Theta 9, a young officer named Reed Carter sat alone in the control room. It was a boring job. Nothing ever happened here. No ships passed this way. No signals came through. Until tonight. A single red light blinked on his console. Reed frowned. What the... He tapped the screen. A strange signal was coming through. One unlike any he'd ever seen. Old, ancient. The code didn't match Drekel, Vorthan, or even ancient human transmissions. The signal kept repeating. A series of strange symbols. Reed's heart raced. This can't be real. He quickly ran a scan. The origin of the signal wasn't in the known galaxy. It came from outside. Beyond the galactic rim. From a dark region only known in ancient legends as a void beyond light. A place even. The old human empire had forbidden to enter. The signal grew stronger. A voice spoke through the static. Old, deep, like a god speaking from the grave. To the children of Terra. We see you. Reed's skin turned cold. Who was this? The message continued. You have conquered your enemies, but you forgot us. Suddenly, the signal transmitted a visual. A colossal structure, larger than planets, floating in the endless. Blackness. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a station. It was something else. something a live dot, and at its center, a symbol no human had seen for 10,000 years. The emblem of the First Empire, the forgotten rulers of the entire galaxy before even the old Drekel existed. A civilization believed to have vanished before history itself. And now they were watching. The final line of the message chilled. Read to his bones. Your war was only the beginning. The real masters are coming home. The signal cut off. Reed staggered back from the console. His hands trembled as he activated an emergency transmission. Command. This is Outpost Theta 9. I need to speak to Captain Ava Morgan. Urgently. Back on Earth's moon base, Ava stood watching the stars. Blake approached. Captain, we just received a message. You need to see this. When she saw the signal, her face went pale. She'd seen ancient warnings about the void beyond light. In secret archives, no one else was allowed to read. This can't be possible, Ava whispered. But it was. The galaxy's true masters, long before Drekel, Vorthen, or modern humans, had awakened. And now they were coming. Ava turned to Blake. Prepare the Leviathan Prime, she ordered, and call back every fleet. Tell them we're not done yet. As the ancient stars flickered quietly in the dark, the message was clear. The galaxy thought. The war was over, but the biggest one hadn't even started. Humanity's greatest nightmare was still ahead. Asterisk.